All right, we're going to look at solving two-step inequalities. So our learning intention today is to be able to write and solve two-step inequalities. You will know that you're successful when you can apply properties of inequality to produce equivalent equations, when you can solve two-step inequalities using the basic operations, and when you can apply two-step inequalities to solve real-life problems. Okay, again, like you saw when we did solving inequalities using addition and subtraction and multiplication and division, these are all things that you already learned when we started solving two-step equations. But now we are doing inequalities. So here's the difference between equations and inequalities. Solving an inequality is just like solving an equation with a key difference. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, flip the inequality sign. Okay, that's the key difference. So look for the variable. If it is teamed up with a negative number, flip the inequality symbol. So I'm looking here. Here are my variables. If they're teamed up, which means if they're paired with, if they're if they're multiplication or division, and it's a negative number, then I know that this sign is going to end up flipping. Okay, so let's solve this one. First, I need to get rid of the constant term, which we'll talk about in a minute. So I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. 22 minus 7 is 15. And then I'm going to have negative 5y left. I need to get the y by itself, so I'm going to divide by negative 5. And if I divide by a negative, that means my inequality sign changes. So I'm going to have negative 5y divided by negative 5 just becomes y, and 15 divided by 5 becomes negative 3. So now this sign is going to flip, so y is less than negative 3. Let's look at this one. I'm going to get rid of 7 again here, and then 15 minus 7 is 8, leaving us with, currently this is what it says, right? X over negative 2 is less than 8. But because this is division, I know that, and I know that it's a negative, I'm going to multiply first by a negative 2, getting x by itself, and then 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. Because I multiplied by a negative number, I know that this inequality sign has to flip. So x is greater than negative 16. Okay, let's move down just a little bit on our paper. We're going to look at the steps to solve. You should be becoming very familiar with these steps. So our goal is to isolate the variable, okay? One, you're going to eliminate the constant term by adding or subtracting. Two, you're going to eliminate the coefficient. So if we go back up here, I got rid of this 7 first before I did anything with this negative 5. Because this is my constant term. I need to get rid of the number that's by itself first, and then I can get rid of the number that's paired with my variable. Okay, so, and then your step 3 would be to graph the solution on a number line if asked. Don't forget, an inequality symbol needs to be reversed or flipped when you multiply or divide both sides of the inequality by a negative. Let's just say by a negative. Okay, so let's look at the other side. Not too much for you to do here. So here's you try it, just like the ones that we just did. So you are going to get rid of the constant term. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. Get rid of the coefficient. So is this multiplication or division? You figure that out. And then see, am I going to need to flip the inequality sign or not? Do the same thing with this one. Then I have this problem for you. Which graph represents the solution of negative 7y minus 21 is less than or equal to 28? So you're going to have to solve it just like you did these problems. And then you're going to look at the graph. Which one of these is showing us the correct answer? Okay. Then I have a real world application for you. So the basketball team is planning to order jerseys. You're going to have to figure out how to write out this equation. So read through this inequality problem and see if you can figure it out. So you're going to fill in the inequality. I added some things in here for you. So here is your subtraction. You're going to multiply, and then I already gave you the inequality symbol. It's going to be less than or equal to. So fill these in, then solve it, and you're going to tell me how many jerseys the team should order for the price per jersey to be no greater than $30.